So today on the Academy, what we're going to talk about and what we're going to train is the Find It cue. Now, a Find It cue is as simple as it sounds. We're going to say the word find it, and what that's going to mean is our dog has to search for the item. We're going to start with food. It can be toys after a while, and you can put names to certain things, and if you're going to go down the scent work route, you'll have slightly different cues for the different scents that they're searching for. But a Find It has lots and lots of benefits and uses, and we can use it all over the place. It's great for distraction. It helps with things like desensitization as well. So if your dog is particularly dog-on-dog reactive or very distracted by things, if we use a Find It cue, they're learning to cope with the environment whilst they're searching for food, whilst they're doing something else. And it also has benefits in relation to getting a recall working, because our dogs spend a lot of their time sniffing and searching. So if when we do a recall, we show them that we found something, find it, it's all on the floor, it keeps them closer to us, so their recall doesn't become, let's grab the treat and run off. So they do stay closer, and it involves their natural behaviours, that searching. So it's quite a nice one to really help with that as well. So what we're going to do is we're initially going to teach them what the cue means. So the cue will be, for me, find it. I do use the cue search when we're doing official scent work, but I use find it for food that's on the floor, when we're out and about, when we're in the house, and that's what the girls know. So how do we start that? We start by saying that word and then throwing a few bits of food on the floor. Now, when I say a few bits, I always throw down more than one piece when I say the word find it. The reason I do that is so that my dogs differentiate between good, which equals one piece of food. If I've said good, they know to find one piece of food, and if I've happened to land that on the floor, they'll find it and then they'll come back to me straight away. Whereas a find it means there's going to be multiple pieces, so they can carry on searching. The reason for that is that it doesn't slow down our learning curve, because they understand the difference between the two. So the good is very much one piece, found it, back to mum, what is it we're after, what are we working on? A find it is there's more pieces, I know I can spend my time sniffing. And on that point, spending the time sniffing's really beneficial for the dogs. It keeps them in a good place, it's very calming for them. Again, it's something that they do very naturally. They understand the environment, they understand what's going on around them, they can pick up the scent of different dogs and get a feel for them and really make themselves feel comfortable with what's going on and the environment that they're in just by using scent. Or vice versa, they can also pick up any threats. So they just get a full picture of their environment. So working with their nose is very, very important. So let's make a start. We're going to take a few pieces, and I'm using her normal food today. So I'm going to take a few pieces, there's 5 pieces there, and I'm just going to say, find it. And I'm going to throw them down. And I do this in the house, out and about, when we're on walks, in longer grass, anywhere I can. It's just making that association. Look at the state of that bandana. Again, a few pieces here. I'll get up, you're going to see her. I'm going to go find it, and she's going to go search for those. Good touch. A few more pieces. We'll go find it. It. Now at this stage she's starting to understand what it means, so we could build this up a little bit. Good girl. Alright, let's go. So I'm just going to get her behind the door, and if you can see them, I'm going to pop them down there. So as she comes in, I'm going to say, find it, which means she now knows to look at the floor to search for the items. Now, if you wanted to further build on that, at the moment, today particularly here has been full of snow. So although we have been out on our walks, some dogs aren't keen in the cold, some humans aren't keen in the cold. Outside has been particularly treacherous today with the amount of ice that's been around, so it's not ideal. Whereas this can really help use their brain and get them into a good place, and is not an alternative for walks, but if your walks have been reduced, it's a great way to get them doing something. So what we can do, so I'm just going to, you stay in there, no opening doors. I'm going to shut her in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hide a few pieces in here. I'm also in a second going to move the camera so that you can see exactly what she's doing. There we go. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've kept them in a relatively small area to start with because if your dog's new to this, you don't want to make a huge search area. That can happen later. So if you were going to use it just to keep them entertained, you could do a find it in a room with just one piece of, a few pieces of food in different areas so that there's one piece in each area. So long they understand that there's pieces to find, that's great. So I've put a few pieces in this small area to start with because we're still building the behaviour. So I'll just go get Saf and I'll point it in the general direction. So naturally, because I've done them all on the floor, she's searching down low to start with, but she's just using her nose to search for those elements. Don't know if you can hear her nose working to the extent that it is. Do you need help with that one? Are you about to chew a book? Good girl. She's missed a piece, she's just going back for it. Excellent. So another one that we can use, as I mentioned before, is using it in recall. So I'm just going to get rid of her for a second and throw a treat out that way. And what I would do is, if I was out and about in a field, I'd throw a few down, I'd go, Saf, come! As she runs over, I'd show her what I've found, and she can then find those items in the grass. So for the recall side of things, she's doing exactly what it is she's built to do, sniffing and searching and definitely finding stuff because we've told her that there's something down there. How amazing are we to find all these items? So I'll show you again, Saf. Away you go. Magic stuff. Saf, come! With enthusiasm and vigour, as you can see. Find it! Now there's one piece left right over here, so we'll see if she uses her nose. Just checking the bookcase. Good girl. So give it a shot. Pop your videos of your dogs finding it in Facebook so that we get to see them, or send them over. Again, with anything within the Academy, send it on over.